Welcome back. Well, for the markets, like we mentioned, has recovered. So we have the Nifty, which is now in the green, up around 15 odd points. The Nifty at around 24,870. The mid-cap index also is now incrementally seeing buying from the lows, so is just about lower by around 0.5%. The Bank Nifty, one of the key constituents for the entire Nifty moving into the green this afternoon, is now up around 90 odd points, so up around 0.15%. Overall, the texture of the market is looking much better. Seems as though the street is just about shrugging off the concerns with regards to what could take place on the tariffs. Maybe there could be some hope that the tariff amount would probably not go through in what is stated at this point in time. The advance decline ratio currently standing at around 1,664 stocks advancing to around 2,300 stocks declining at this point in time. Overall, markets looking good. The Nifty Pharma Index as well as a couple of other indices such as the oil and gas index. Two of these indices were in the red. So let's see whether there's any kind of incremental recovery which takes place in both of these indices.
Absolutely, will be important to watch out for in terms of whether this recovery is something that is going to be sustaining. But, let's pull up some of these EMS player names as well, whether it's Dixon Technologies, Amber Enterprises, Kaynes Technologies. Why are all these in focus today? Specifically also, just a short while ago, we had an important update that came in from sources saying that there was no immediate impact on this 25% tariff on smartphone, laptop exports, as well as this is from India to the US. So there's no impact of that. There's an exemption that was there for the 90-day period till 14th of August, and that's when this will be picked up and reviewed again. Now, after this, we have seen a recovery that has come in for all these stocks. So can Dixon Tech also, sharp recovery, and obviously with the market, we're seeing a recovery as well. But Kaynes Technology, let's put the spotlight on that. Today, it's running away in trade, and this is, after the management had reported their numbers, mixed set of numbers that came in Q1. Now, we're joined by Jairam Sampath, the whole-time director, as well as the CFO of the company right now, to talk to us about the outlook, what should we be watching out for as well. Mr. Sampath, good afternoon. Thank you so much for giving us your time this afternoon. Let's start with, obviously, you have the latest update that's coming in terms of tariffs, but your exposure is not much, I believe. It's only 2-3%, right, overall, in terms of your revenue. One, overall revenue growth for FY26, that's come in at 34%. I think you'd guided for around 60% previously for FY26 as a year as a whole. So would you still stick to your guidance? And also, if you could just highlight any impact or any talks that you're having with your clients in the US as well, what is it, even though your exposure is lower?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. And I think the global cues and the global let's say, geopolitical happenings don't impact so much in the short run. Of course, in the long term, they do. On that brief comment, I would like to say that this year's guidance still is intact. We see very strong uptake. Order book is as expected growing, about 7,400 crores of orders end of June. And the good news is that we see a good let's say, increase in profitability across the different sectors, not just one or two clients, but a broad brush. Our efforts during last 2-3 years have yielded some results, and now we are seeing an increase. And as we go towards other quarters, we probably have a better operating leverage too. So overall, we hold our guidance of totally consolidated level, about 4,500 plus crores of revenues. And of course, we had guided for 15.6% of EBITDA. So certainly minimum at a minimum, we'll probably achieve that number. The comment on the tariffs, etc., we had always considered a world which will become a little more insular and people would insist on local manufacturing. So strategies that we have said is geographical expansion. So that is also paying dividends to us now, because it takes about a year and a half to set right those factories in the US. So we have now 2 factories in North America. So all in all, I think we are gearing up for whatever the markets and geopolitical forces throw at us.
Okay. So you're confident of your guidance in FY26, and you have laid out that you could probably achieve $1 billion in terms of revenue by FY28. You're factoring in any kind of gyrations when it comes to the entire tariff situation around the world into this guidance?
Yeah, so we think that at this point in time, if you really see the kind of exports that we will actually be doing, it'll be either semiconductor, which is generally not touched by tariffs by any country generally. It's the more value-added products that are touched, and then of course there are critical areas wherein we export, and those areas, the alternative to the OEMs, if they are in the US too, are limited, and so these tariffs only kind of is a small, let's say, a small dampener to that demand. And most of the orders that we have for export execution, they are all placed for 10 years and 5 years time frame. They last longer than the government of the day. And so from that perspective, we don't think there is any impact, and we have factored in any such let's say downtrend that we may see because of our portfolio, which is very diversified. So I think this $1 billion by FY28 is very much reasonable and very much possible.
Okay. And sir, what about your OSAT business as well as the PSB business as well? Because I think you're aiming to focus and become more of that high margin, high electronic kind of manufacturing side is your focus. Next 2-3 years, what will be the contribution that will come in from both OSAT as well as PSB? Yeah. And what is the current revenue there?
Yeah, so of course, currently these projects are just greenfield projects. Factories just getting prepared. So by September, we'll have the first buildings ready and maybe the entire factory. And in OSAT, we do business this year. For last quarter, we targeted about 100 crores, and I think we would definitely well on our way to do that. In PC board, we'll start from the first quarter of next year. And in both the cases, we have got tied up anchor clients. And in fact, in OSAT, we had earlier 2 anchor clients. Now the third one, which has joined, and we're really getting very good traction in those 2 businesses. They're decidedly margin accretive businesses. So our plan is basically to make sure that we're able to grow those businesses even post government subsidy regime.
And what will be that % of revenue, sir, from them in the next 2 years?
FY28, we had earlier said about 2,000 crores from these 2 businesses out of the 9,000 crores that we had planned about. So okay. Maybe they would exceed this 2,000 crores number. So maybe we'd probably exceed the guidance of $1 billion too.
Okay. All right, so we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So confident in terms of the $1 billion guidance for FY28. That's Kaynes Technology, not too deterred in terms of the tariff situation. Those are the DCB numbers as well. So maybe that should come up for you. It seemed as though the asset quality was quite intact at this point. So maybe the stock should come up for you, up around 1% for DCB Bank at this point. We'll take a short break, get you more on the markets once we're back. Stay tuned.